What up, guys? GangstaPranksta bringing you some more weekly wrestling review. Welcome back. I know it's been a while, but I am back on my YouTube grind. A lot of things have stopped me from uploading for the past couple weeks, but now I am back in full effect. Got to catch up on a bunch of stuff, bunch of my series. This is one of them that I definitely want to catch up on because I'm very, very behind on it. So here we are. We're going to try and catch up. So anyways, welcome to the Weekly Wrestling Review. If you're new to the show, this is where we talk everything about professional wrestling, from news, reviews, to predictions. We talk about it also if you're a fan of professional wrestling. Welcome to the show. On today's show, we got reviews for RAW, Smackdown, Impact, NXT, Ring of Honor. We got two pay-per-view reviews. We got SummerSlam, brought to you by WWE, and Ring of Honor Manhattan V. As well as we're going to talk a little bit about Total Divas, two episodes that came the weeks that these shows were on, and some wrestling news. So anyways, let's jump right into it. So to give you a time frame of where I am as far as watching wrestling and doing reviews and stuff, we are still on SummerSlam. Okay, we're going to be talking about the week of shows before SummerSlam, and then the week after SummerSlam, and then that will be the reviews. That's where the time frame consists of. So anyways, let's quickly talk about the shows going into SummerSlam. So first, I want to talk about the Daniel Bryan, John Cena, the promo that they had before their big SummerSlam match to hype it up. It was on Miz TV. I thought it was really fucking good. Like, these two had a really good back and forth. You really believed what they were saying. You know, Daniel Bryan talked about grinding in the independents and blah, blah, blah. And Cena wasn't a real wrestler and all this good stuff. And, you know, Cena's like, I might not be the best wrestler, but I am the best at what I do. People love to see me. They love to boo me, whatever the case may be. And, you know, I make all these people happy and all these Make-A-Wish kids. I do it for them. And it was just a really good back and forth. You even saw it. There was one part, I'll talk about that in a second after all the seriousness. But then Daniel Bryan was talking about in Japan how you would slap your opponent to fire him up. And he's like, you're not even good enough for me to slap right now. And it got really personal, and I really enjoyed it. And then, so Cena was like, slap me. He didn't slap him. Cena ended up slapping Daniel Bryan. He just laughed it off, and then Triple H came out and calmed it down. It was a really good segment. I really enjoyed it going into the match. One thing I want to talk about that was just funny having in the middle of it. So Cena, while he was cutting his promo, he talks about the names that he's beaten in the past. You know, The Rock, he's talking about names that, like, because he's like, they talk about how they're on different levels, and Cena's like, you know, I'm on this level with The Rock and Austin and Undertaker and all them. And then I think he's talking about that, or he's talking about the people that he's beaten. And then Bryan was like, you talk about those people like they're better than me. And then you have this fan in the crowd, and he's like, it's because they are. And it was hilarious. The scene was cracking up. Daniel Bryan, he wanted to crack up as well. I think Miz was cracking up too. And that was just a really funny moment during the whole promo. What else do we got to talk about? Okay, so we talked about that promo, it being really good. And then to end the show, it was Curtis Axel, Brock Lesnar, and CM Punk. They had a little thing, a little brawl going on. Next we got NXT, but there was really nothing to talk about on this NXT. The main event of this NXT was The Shield versus Xavier Woods, Corey Graves, and Adrian Novella. It was a good match, and The Shield ended up winning. We will talk about the next NXT on the following week, which had an amazing match, a 2 out of 3 falls match between Sami Zayn and Antonio Cesaro. We'll get to that soon. Next we had Impact. This was the Hardcore Justice show where the main event was Bully Ray versus Chris Sabin. It was also supposed to have the Aces and Eights versus main event Mafia 5-on-5, but now with Kurt going to rehab, and basically just fucking up that whole angle. They were like, they didn't have enough time to book it or whatever, so they're like, all right, we'll delay it a week. So we'll cover that match too later on, after this Impact. But on this Impact, you had some good hardcore matches. To start off the show, you had Austin Aries, Jeff Hardy, AJ Styles, and Kazarian in a ladder match. This was a good match. Kazarian wins after that new faction formed. Bobby Roode, not Austin Aries, Bobby Roode, Kazarian, and Christopher Daniels. I'm really interested to see where this leads. I like the little faction. I really think they should call it Rude Brood, because it kind of coincides with Bad Influence, how they're bad apples. And then Rude Brood, you know, they just, I don't know, I think it would work for them, but whatever. I think they go by the name Ego, and I think that's an acronym for something. I'm not sure. I was looking at some TNA results, and I believe that's what they're called. What else do we got? Oh, we had Rampage Jackson come out and call out Tito Ortiz, just to ask him why he helped the main event Mafia. Or he asked Tito to help Rampage in the main event Mafia in their 5-on-5 match, because they were building it as like, oh, now that Angle's gone, it's gonna be 5-on-4, and we're just gonna beat him easily, and then they're gonna lose one of their members. Not like they're gonna find another person or something. So yeah, he asked Tito to come and join the main event Mafia. What else? And that was about it. The main event, Chris Sabin versus Bully Ray Steel cage match for the world title. Good match. Bully wins and is the new TNA World Champion after Anderson comes out, stops Sabin from escaping. Tito and Rampage try to come out and help Sabin, but Tito turns on Rampage, aligning himself with the Aces and Eights. Honestly, after like a 2-week title reign, I have no fucking idea why they even put the belt on Chris Sabin. I think it was just to keep this whole, like, if you cash in the X Division title, then look, you'll get a world title shot. And the past couple guys, they've all won, so maybe you have that chance of winning. Other than that, I see no reason, like, why they gave it to him. They tried, like, it seemed like they were going to elevate Sabin to a hierarchy in the company and make him more than a mid-card guy, but that obviously didn't last long. Well, I don't know, maybe in the coming weeks of shows they have, but up to this point, this was just a really pointless title win. That's the whole thing, that, like, that's when Sabin won. I was like, okay, I'm interested in, like, he won, okay, but what are they gonna do next? And obviously they had nothing planned next, because Bully Ray won the title immediately back. He never should have lost it, honestly. It just made them look really fucking stupid. So I thought that was a terrible decision to take the belt off Bully Ray, just to have Sabin have 2 weeks, 2 fucking weeks, and he didn't do shit in those 2 weeks. So that was awful. Alright, so that was Impact, the Hardcore Justice show. Next we got Smackdown, but I don't think there's anything worth talking about here. This is a pretty average show. I'd like to say that SmackDown has been getting better recently. There was, we'll talk about this in the news section, but there was rumors, or I think, let me check if there's a rumor or a report. It was a report. It was SmackDown possibly moving to 3 hours. And we'll talk about that more on the news section, because that's news related. But I feel like SmackDown has definitely gotten a lot better. It's not just the B show. They're kind of trying to make it like the A- show. Like Raw's the A+ show. SmackDown's the B show. Now I can say like, you know what? Not even an A-. SmackDown's a B+ show right now. Almost an A-. So yeah, but nothing really worth, like, anything happened, nothing game-breaking, game-changing happens on SmackDown. I'd like to see some stuff like that happen on SmackDown. Next we got Ring of Honor. This was the first show after the whole Scum match went down, and now that Scum's disbanded and all that. They had a solid main event. It was Michael Elgin, Kevin Steen, and Tommaso Ciampa versus American Wolves and BJ Whitmer. This was a really good Ring of Honor style match. and Elgin, Steen, and Ciampa win. You also had some other matches, but they were just whatever. So that was that. Next we have SummerSlam, and SummerSlam was actually a really good show. I don't want to say really good. It was just definitely a solid show from top to bottom. There's only one thing that was absolutely fucking terrible, and you guys probably already know what I'm talking about. We'll get into it in just a second. So first to start the show, the pre-match was RVD versus Dean Ambrose for the U.S. title. I actually didn't get to watch this. I trying to catch up on all the shows that I missed. I ended up forgetting the pre-show, but I wanted to watch it. I'm gonna check it out later. But let me know how it was in the comment section. Alright, so to start out this show, we had the first match, Bray Wyatt versus Kane in a Ring of Fire match. What else can you say than this was absolutely terrible. Bray Wyatt won. The stipulation was just worthless. Like, you had the ring on fire. They were limited on what they could do. Thank God the match was short, because whatever was going on in the ring was just terrible. And then you had the Wyatt family, like, put out the flames, pretty much making the whole stipulation null and void. It was just really fucking awful and a train wreck to watch. I hated every minute of it. Honestly, this might be the worst match of the year. Just a pointless stipulation. There was no reason for a Ring of Fire match. You make it a fucking... I don't want to say no DQ, because the Lesnar Punk match was no DQ. And I want to talk about that in a second too. But yeah, no reason for a Ring of Fire match or Inferno match, whatever the fuck you want to call it. It was so retarded. This is so bad. Like, just fucking awful. Anyways, after the match, the Wyatt family attacks Kane with the stairs, and that looked terrible as well. Cause okay, you had Kane lying headfirst on the stairs, and then they took the other stairs and they used the opening and they pretty much just slammed it on his head. But it looked terrible because you pretty much saw that he didn't get hurt. Like, the cameraman just stood right behind Bray Wyatt and looked, hey look, Kane's fine, look at him, he didn't get hurt at all. They missed his head completely. And that looked fucking awful as well. And they ended up taking him and dragging him somewhere. So I'll be interested to see where that leads. Maybe something with The Undertaker at WrestleMania? We'll have to wait and see. Hopefully no more Ring of Fire matches. Because they have completely killed that type of match. Alright, next we got Damien Sandow versus Cody Rhodes. Pretty good match. Rhodes wins. I really enjoyed this feud between the two and, you know, elevating Cody back to, you know, a babyface mid-card. I really like that. And Damien Sandow, you know, even though he's the Money in the Bank winner, that's why he could afford to lose this match. Some people might be like, shit, you know, he just won the Money in the Bank. How could he lose this match? But it's okay for him to lose this match because he still has the Money in the Bank. Because he can say, oh, you might have beat me, but hey, guess what? I am the uncrowned World Heavyweight Champion, you know? So that was fine that he lost. Next we got Christian versus Del Rio in a world title match. This was a good match. Del Rio won. Del Rio was beat the fuck up. Like, it was hilarious. He comes out and his eyes are almost swollen shut. They're bruised. His ears bruised. Like, he just looked like he got into a nasty fight. There's a rumor that he was in a fight with Drew McIntyre. There's two rumors. There was a fight that he got into a fight with Drew McIntyre, and there was a fight that he got into a fight with Drew McIntyre against two, like a bunch of people or something at a bar. And I think the second one was actually correct. The first two were rumors. That Del Rio and Drew McIntyre, I think they went to a bar or something, and then they got into a fight, and I guess they just beat the fuck out of Del Rio. Because I know Drew McIntyre tweeted something out like, oh look, my face is pretty, or some shit like that. So he didn't get too bad, at least not from what I saw. Del Rio, on the other hand, one eye was pretty much almost swollen shut. His ear was really black, and his other eye was pretty bruised as well. So he was beating the shit out of. But luckily, he was still, you know, able to compete. But that just looks bad. That like you're tough, you know, you're supposed to be these tough wrestlers, and you go and then you get beat up by a bunch of people. Like, I don't know how many people there were at the bar, or like the whole situation. But it does look shitty. That's like some UFC fighters going to a bar and they get the shit beat out of them by a couple guys. So that sucked. That sucked for them. Hopefully he's feeling better. What else do we got? So that was a good match. Really enjoyed that one. Next we got Natalya versus Brie Bella. This is a really pointless feud. You know, this pretty much all stemmed from the Total Diva stuff. So I was fine with that for them to promote the show. This is an okay match. Natalya won. Honestly, not much to say about it. Next we had one of the best matches on the show, if not the best. Honestly, it's a tie. Brock Lesnar versus CM Punk in a no DQ match. Really good match. Lesnar won. I was actually pretty surprised. I thought Punk would win, but I think it was smart to let Lesnar win because the way they were building it up and the beatdown that Lesnar gave Punk the first time, where he just dragged him around, threw him on the table, F5'd him on the table, just made him his bitch. It definitely, I don't know. Lesnar, it was a really good match. I really enjoyed this. One thing I want to talk about, though, what is with them always adding the no DQ stipulation into Lesnar's matches? Like, I believe he wrestled at WrestleMania. I believe it was no DQ. Wrestled at Extreme Rules. Has it been Extreme Rules match, of course. Like, I don't believe he's had one wrestling match. Like, every time it's the crutch of the weapons. I guess it's, I don't know. He's a good wrestler. You know, maybe they're afraid that, you know, he's not in wrestling condition to, like, go a 20-30 minute match. So they just throw in weapons and can help carry the match. But I'd like to see him wrestle a match with a no DQ stipulation. No disqualification. I want disqualification. Just a regular match, not some gimmick match. But anyways, really good match. Lesnar won. Honestly, I don't know if it was the best match on the show because the main event was really good as well. Honestly, it was a tie. You guys let me know in the comments what do you think was better if you had to pick a match of the night. Next we got Ziggler and Caitlyn taking on Big E and AJ in a mixed tag team match. This is a pretty good match. Ziggler and Caitlyn win. Again, nothing much to say about this here. That's about it. And, of course, we got the main event, the controversial main event. Daniel Bryan versus John Cena with special guest referee Triple H for the WWE title. This was a really good match. Great back and forth match. Really enjoyed it. Daniel Bryan won and is the new WWE champion for a whole 5 minutes. I don't even think it's 5 minutes. He got a nice 2-3 minutes. He didn't even get to touch the belt, though. Now he knows how it feels. You know, he got screwed here, but I'm saying cashed in wise. Like, he cashed in on Big Show, and he didn't even touch the belt. Now, a little taste, karma comes around. So anyways, after the match, you know, he's celebrating, streams are coming down, blah, blah, blah. And then, personally, I felt the finish of the match came out of nowhere. Like, I thought he was going to make Cena tap. But I guess they weren't going to have him tap because this whole elbow thing. Whatever. He pretty much just hit a flying knee, and that was it. It came out of nowhere. I didn't really like that. Anyways, after the match, Randy Orton comes out. He comes out. Acts like he's going to cash in the Money in the Bank. Triple H turns Bryan around, hits him with a pedigree. Orton comes in, cashes his Money in the Bank, and wins the WWE title. And, you know, they screw Daniel Bryan. And I want to talk about this. A lot of people were pissed off that Bryan didn't get his moment. You know, he finally beat Cena, and he deserves this, and they got just screwed by the WWE, and blah, 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 blah. I feel you. But, like, you probably, as you've seen in the past couple weeks, at the end of the day, this is only going to make him a better star. That's how you build, like, a good babyface. You put, like, everything against him. You put the Shield against him. You put Wade Barrett. You put Randy Orton, the McMahons, Triple H. You put all that shit in front of him just for him to overcome all that shit and finally win the WWE title and shove it up Vince's ass and Stephanie's ass or Triple H's ass and win it for the fans. So I saw it that way right away. I wasn't too pissed that I was kind of disappointed, but at the same time I was like, at the end of the day, Cena's gone. He's got to have surgery. Someone's got to fill that spot, and it's going to be Daniel Bryan. So I was like, I can't wait for that. So yeah, that was SummerSlam. It was a good show, solid except for the first match. It was a good show. I really enjoyed it. The Ring of Fire match, absolutely fucked terrible. My worst match of the year so far. So yeah, that was SummerSlam. Next we got Ring of Honor Manhattan Mayhem V. This was a good show as well. There was nothing like the Ring of Fire match, which was just god awful. I don't even think there was anything bad. There was just actually, well, that wasn't bad. We'll talk about that in a second. So anyways, Manhattan Mayhem 5, solid show from top to bottom, some solid wrestling, some really good matches, so let's quickly talk about it. First we have Adam Page versus Silas Young. This is a pretty good opener, just a solid, fun way to start the show. Silas won, and I'm starting Silas Young. There's a couple people in Ring of Honor that, like, I'm like, damn, when I watch him, like, I really enjoy watching him. One is Silas Young, he's growing on me. Two is ACH, who we'll talk about in just a second, who had a pretty good match as well. I just love watching the guy. I think he's really entertaining to watch. I don't want to say entertaining, but he's exciting to watch. You know, he's always doing crazy stuff, and he is just a really good high flyer. And he performs, like, everything he does just seems so fluid and solid. I love it. And the other guy is Matt Taven. And he's the current Ring of Honor TV champion. I'm a big fan of his. I don't want to say big fan. I enjoy watching his stuff. And I think they all had pretty good performances on the show. Silas Young, ACH, and Matt Taven. So, yeah, Silas Young. What's it called? The Last Man or something? He's got the whole gimmick with him is like, he is the last man in professional wrestling. Everyone else is just little kids, and he's got a nice beard or a nice mustache to prove it. I like Silas. I can't wait to see him do some more stuff in Ring of Honor. Next we got Adrenaline Rush. Tadarius Thomas and ACH taking on Caprice Coleman and Cedric Alexander in a scramble match. So a scramble match is pretty much, it's a tag team, it's a regular tag team match, but you don't have to tag in your partner for your partner to get in. All you have to do is, like, you can, like, roll out of the ring, and then that's a tag. It's a tag with no tags. I know it's confusing. But anyways, it's a pretty good match. Coleman and Alexander win. This was just a really fast-paced, fun match to watch. It was a little bit sloppy at times, but I think the match was just so good that you could forget about some of the moves that they fucked up. So, yeah, ACH, the man. Next we got Mike Mondo taking on Matt Taven. This is a proving ground match, so if Mike Mondo won, I believe he gets a shot at the Ring of Honor TV title. Mike Mondo here coming back from, I think, breaking his ankle. He was out for a couple months, and this is his return match. Completely different look. Last time he had the yellow and black hair. Here he's bald look, just black trunks. I didn't really like it. I thought he just looked like everybody else. Where if he had the black hair and the little beard and the yellow hair, you know, that style's unique. But maybe it's hard to maintain. I don't know. Anyway, so he had a pretty good match with Matt Taven. A little goofiness at the end with all the hoopla hotties getting involved, but I thought it was alright. Next, we got the Young Bucks taking on the Forever Hooligans. Now, speaking of people that in Ring of Honor I love watching, like Silas Young, Matt Taven, and ACH, Forever Hooligans has got to be at the top of that list. They're probably tied with ACH. I love Forever Hooligans. I think they are a solid tag team. I'm not too familiar with them outside of Ring of Honor. I believe they wrestle in Mexico or Japan. It's Japan. And I think they do Mexico too, but they are just an awesome tag team. I really love the combination of Alex Kozlov and Rocky Romero. I think they have just so much chemistry, and they work so well together, and they just have really good matches, and that was the case here. They faced the Young Bucks. It was a really good, fast-paced, good tag team action. Really enjoyed this match. The Hooligans won, and just a really entertaining tag team match. Next we got QT Marshall and R.D. Evans taking on Homicide and Eddie Kingston. There was just, QT and RD. They came out. They're like, yo, we don't have a match. What the hell is this? Blah, blah, blah. And then you got this weird music play. And then you got these two guys in masks come out. They turn out to be Homicide and Eddie Kingston. It was an okay match. Homicide and Eddie Kingston win. Apparently, this is going to be a new tag team for Ring of Honor called Outlaw Inc. And I don't get their gimmick. Their gimmick is like they're crazy. After the match, they were throwing chairs around, ringing the ring bell, just doing... Oh, they broke R.D. Evans' fingers. Homicide broke R.D. Evans' fingers. So I don't get what they're like. I don't know. The gimmick just seems weird because we all know Homicide. He's, that gangster wrestler, and Eddie Kingston, he's a hard-hitting wrestler, and hard-hitting gangster wrestler, and I don't know. It was just... I'd like to see where this is going. Another part, the whole craziness. So Eddie Kingston got tagged in. He was in, and then you got Homicide. He just starts humping the fuck out of the ring post. I thought that was hilarious. That was probably the best part of the match. He just went to town on that ring post. I think the ring post got pregnant, honestly. He just gave it a good... He went to town. He went to town. Alright, so we'll be talking more about Eddie Kingston and Homicide later. Next, we got Mike Bennett versus Tommaso Ciampa. This was a pretty good match. Too slow for my pace. It was an extremely slow-paced match. But it started to pick up towards the end. Anyways, pretty good match. Ciampa won. Next, we got Roderick Strong versus Kevin Steen. This was a good match. These two went at it full throttle. They pretty much kept the action going throughout the whole match. And it was really exciting to watch. They hit some good stuff. And I really enjoyed this. Good match, Steen won. And this was all part of, or most of the matches near the end were all part of the Ring of Honor World Title Tournament. This was the quarterfinals, and whoever won goes to the semifinals. So Ciampa went to the semifinals. Adam Cole was already qualified. Steen qualified. And then the next person qualified, Michael Elgin, who beat Carl Anderson in a really good match between these two guys. Better than their TV match on the Ring of Honor TV shows. They just had a really good back and forth. They hit some good stuff. They beat the shit out of each other. And this was just a really entertaining match. Really recommend this match. So those were the final four participants for the world title. They actually just crowned the world champion. I believe Adam Cole won, which was actually pretty surprising because it seemed like they were going with Michael Elgin, and Michael Elgin's going to be the new guy on the block for Ring of Honor. It seemed like they were going that way before with Adam Cole, but then he just kind of faded away. And I was like, all right, Michael Elgin, he is the next Ring of Honor prodigy, and they were going to build it. And then, I don't know, they went with Adam Cole, so I'm really interested to see, that whole thing take place. So anyways, next, main events, proving that tag team wrestling is not dead. Ring of Honor, that's the one thing I love about Ring of Honor, that tag teams can be the main events. Like, tag teams are so important in Ring of Honor, and they're so good, that they can main event a pay-per-view. I really like that. Like, when's the last time you saw a tag team main event in WWE on a pay-per-view? I believe the last one, not counting Survivor Series, but just a tag team match, was probably The Rock and Cena taking on Awesome Truth. And I don't even know if that was the main event. I think that was the main event at a Survivor Series. But I believe that was the last one. The one for TNA, holy shit, I don't even know. Maybe Lockdown, but I wouldn't even want to consider that. Yeah, I wouldn't consider. The last one I can think of is Sting and Christian versus Monty Brown and Jeff Jarrett, and that's in 2006. 2005, I don't remember which one. Yeah, that's the last tag team main event I can remember in TNA. So anyways, Red Dragon versus the American Wolves for the ROH Tag Team titles. One thing I like about Ring of Honor, but they didn't do that here, was one thing, like I was talking about, one thing I really like about Ring of Honor is the long title reigns. Long title reigns to make the title seem important. But I believe in the span of 3 weeks, the title changed hands, at least the tag team titles. On the TV taping, we had Forever Hooligans beat Red Dragon, and then I believe the American Wolves beat Forever Hooligans and won the title. And then here we had Red Dragon win and win the titles back. So it was kind of like they wanted to give the titles to American Wolves, but they didn't want them to beat Red Dragon, so they gave them to Forever Hooligans, so American Wolves can beat them, and then Red Dragon can beat them for the titles again, and then they can stretch it out into a rematch, which, I don't know, whatever. Anyways, this was a really good match, solid main event, crazy, crazy match. Red Dragon wins. This was an awesome tag team match. I really fucking enjoyed this. There was two, how many tag teams? There was 4 tag team matches on the show. All of them were good. Well, not the Homicide Eddie Kingston one, but the other 3, they were solid tag team wrestling matches. Like, they are worth checking out on this pay-per-view. And I'm like, you know what? I don't honestly recommend this whole pay-per-view. Like, it was a really good show. A really good Ring of Honor show. Solid wrestling. So anyways, let's continue on with the main event. So Red Dragon win and are the new ROH Tag Team Champions. And then after the match, Outlaw Inc., Homicide and Eddie Kingston came out again and attacked Red Dragon and pretty much said something to the extent of, oh, Ring of Honor's changed. We're going to come and we're going to take Ring of Honor down. Now, I'm not a big fan of that because we just finished going through the exact same storyline with Scum. That's the whole thing with Scum. They wanted to take down Ring of Honor. They wanted to just trash Ring of Honor. They wanted to take it over. They wanted to be the Outlaws, whatever. And now you actually have someone called the Outlaw Inc. And they want to do the exact same thing. So I don't think this was the right step for the next big storyline in Ring of Honor. Hopefully it somehow involves Steve Corino. There was actually a part in the show. I don't know if it was on TV taping or the pay-per-view. It was the pay-per-view because Prince Nana was on commentary. So Steve Corino, he just comes out all casually because he got fired. All those guys, I believe they got fired. I don't know. At least Scum's disbanded. I believe Steve Corino got fired. Anyway, Steve Corino comes out and he's like, he just acts so nonchalant, like, oh yeah, I'm here for commentary. Oh yeah. And they're like, no, you're not. You got fired. And he's like, I'm not fired. I work here. Blah blah blah. And then he got escorted out. It was really funny. I love Steve Corino. He's so entertaining. But yeah, that was Ring of Honor Manhattan 5. Like I said, really good show. Definitely check it out. Some solid tag team wrestling. If you're a tag team wrestling fan like I am, you definitely don't want to miss this pay-per-view. Alright, so that was Ring of Honor Manhattan Mayhem 5. Next, we are going to cover the shows that happen after SummerSlam, that week of shows. So it starts out with John Cena comes out and says he's injured, and he needs surgery because his elbow, I believe he has a torn bicep, and then all that stuff went into his elbow. So that was weird. Well, not weird, but that was just really gross. So anyways, he brings out Daniel Bryan. Stephanie McMahon comes out and says what happened to Daniel Bryan was best for business because he's not a star, and you know, he's short, he has a beard, he doesn't have muscles, he's not pretty to look at, all this stuff, and yeah, we'll talk more about that later. What else do we got? We have, oh, this is fucking awful. Alright, so first we got a terrible match with Sin Cara and Del Rio. Match went like 30 seconds because Sin Cara dislocated his finger and stopped the match. And apparently Del Rio was just really pissed at him. There's some reports that he got a lot of backstage heat for stopping the match for a dislocated finger. They said other wrestlers would have just worked through it, but I don't know. So anyways, after the match, Ricardo Rodriguez comes out and says that he is managing someone else, and that person turns out to be RVD. Talk about the weirdest fucking pairing in wrestling right now. I don't know about right now, but definitely WWE. This is just like, it's the odd couple. It's fucking Ricardo Rodriguez and RVD. First of all, I don't think RVD needs a manager. He's just that type of guy. He's cool, you know, he's just like a lone wolf type of guy. Well, not a lone wolf, he can do tag team stuff, but he doesn't need a mouthpiece. And that's what Ricardo is. Ricardo is a mouthpiece. Now, when I first heard about this little pairing, I'm like, okay, they're gonna put Ricardo with RVD, set up for the match at Night of Champions, and then have Ricardo turn on RVD, and then Ricardo gets more heat on him and Del Rio, and then they can have another rematch, and possibly RVD wins the title. But I believe at Night of Champions that didn't happen. I believe RVD and Ricardo Rodriguez are still a pairing, which just blows my fucking mind because it's just so stupid. It's just so retarded. Like I said, RVD does not need a mouthpiece. He's the cool guy. He doesn't need that shit. So I don't know what the hell they were thinking. Honestly, have Ricardo with the fucking Los Matadors that are going to be debuting soon. Epico and Primo, they're going to be re-debuted as the Los Matadors. And you know what? Cool, I guess. You know, they weren't being used as Epico and Primo, and now they're going to not be used as Los Matadors. So I don't know what they have planned. I don't even know if they debuted. They might be debuting tonight. That's I'm recording. Yeah, Raw is going to be on like an hour. I don't know. I don't know about Los Matadors. But Ricardo Rodriguez and RVD, I don't know. Maybe if I watch a little bit more, it'll make sense. But as of right now, it's dumb and I hate it. What else do we got? That was about it. The main events, well, there was no main event. The main event segment was Triple H, Vince, Stephanie McMahon come out. Triple H talks about how he didn't want to screw Daniel Bryan because Daniel Bryan's like a wrestler's a wrestler. You know, he grinded the independents for 15 years or whatever. And it was best for business. Randy Orton comes out, thanks Triple H, blah, blah, blah. And one thing I want to talk about is, okay, they had the whole roster on the main stage. You have the Shields, they're doing security, and then you have the whole Randy Orton, the McMahons, and Triple H in the ring. One person that I like, it seems like they're kind of building a faction, whatever faction is going to be called. One person I would love to see in this faction is Wade Barrett. Wade Barrett is a guy who's been feuding with Daniel Bryan over the weeks because of Vince McMahon. That's how it all started. Vince came out, he said, Wade Barrett, come here, you're going to shave Daniel Bryan's face so he doesn't look like a troll. And yeah, he handpicked him. And then, you know, Daniel Bryan shaves his face, and they've been having a series of matches on SmackDown or Raw. And I would just really like to see Wade Barrett kind of align himself in this whole alliance, because you got, you got the higher-ups, you got the McMahons and Triple H. Then you got the world champion, the main guy, Randy Orton. Then you got the tag team, you got the Shield. But you don't have that, like, mid-card guy that kind of has Orton's back and probably down the line will turn on Orton because he wants the WWE title or he gets kicked out because he's mistreated or whatever. I think Wade Barrett should be a part of this alliance. Like, I just think it makes sense. They need a guy like him. I think he'd fit good in there. Maybe they did. Maybe they did do it in the coming weeks. I don't know. I'll have to watch and find it. But if they haven't, that's definitely something they should do. So anyways, that was Raw. Next we have NXT. Two things I want to talk about on this NXT show besides the main event, which was awesome. Alexander Rusev, I don't know how to pronounce the name, versus Dolph Ziggler. So they bring in this guy. He's fucking huge. He's massive. I believe he's some type of MMA sub, it's on the tip of my tongue. I don't know what it is, but they got this big guy who I've never fucking seen on NXT. And his first match in NXT is gonna face a superstar like Dolph Ziggler? Like, I just thought this came out of nowhere. There was no build for it whatsoever. Usually when they build towards the superstar versus NXT match, there's some build up, like I said, but here it just came out of nowhere. It's like, this guy, he's gonna be, from his first match, from what I saw, taking on Dolph Ziggler, and I thought he did a pretty good job. He had some unique offense where he picked the guy up on the ropes and kneed him, and then just threw him over the top rope. I like that. But I would have liked to see him. I don't know. We'll see in the upcoming weeks with Alexander Rusev or whatever. Anyways, in the main event, this match that everyone talked about. Sami Zayn versus Antonio Cesaro in a 2 out of 3 falls match. this was a really good match. This was a solid main event for NXT. Cesaro won the match, so the first fall was like 6 seconds. Cesaro was warming up. You had Sami Zayn come in with the boot to the in the turnbuckle, roll him up, pin him in the first 5 seconds. I was fine with that. The second pin came a little bit later on with a headlock. I was kind of sad that it ended on a headlock, but you know, it's whatever. You don't want Cesaro to blow all his big stuff like in the second fall, then he has nothing for the third fall. And the final few minutes in this match were just fucking great. Because first you had, okay, they were both on, he throws, Sami Zayn throws Cesaro to the outside. And then Sami goes to the outside and he's like, oh, I see an opportunity. He runs, does his El Generico tornado DDT thing through the ring post. That was crazy to see. Some people probably saw that for the first time and were like, holy fuck, he just fit through that and went in and did a move. Like, holy shit. That was crazy to see. Some people really popped huge. And then they brought him in the ring. Sami goes for a tornado DDT out of the corner. Cesaro catches him, and then he didn't fully catch him. I believe Sami went too far forward and almost, fell face first. But Cesaro just being, you know how like on commentary JBL and Cole and all them talk about how Cesaro is just so freakishly strong. He fucking grabbed Zayn by the hips, balanced him out, and then tossed him in the air and hit the European uppercut move that he does. That move was just so sick. Sami Zayn got so much height, and just to see the strength of Antonio Cesaro to kind of fix his gripping of Sami Zayn just in midair. He didn't put him down. This was all in midair, and then just threw him up. And it was just really crazy to see. And then he hit him with the neutralizer, pinned him 1, 2, 3. Solid main event. Definitely recommend checking out this main event. Cesaro, Sami Zayn, 2 out of 3 falls match. Go check it out right now. So yeah, that was cool. That was cool. Next we got Impact. What do I want to talk about on Impact? They announced that the X Division matches will be going back to one-on-one instead of triple threats. They should have never been triple threats because that was just a terrible fucking idea. I don't even know why they even thought about that. Like, they've been making, like, I don't want to say big, but a lot of small I don't want to say mistakes, but a lot of small fuck-ups. Like, first you have the X Division matches 3 ways. Then you got that stupid camera thing. Well, I guess that was a cool idea, but they stopped because I guess it was stupid. And then now back to one-on-one matches. So they really need to get their shit together. We'll talk more about TNA in the news section because, it's not a good news section if TNA's not in there and just causing problems. Not causing problems, but the main focal point of some stuff. So we'll talk about that later. Next we got... What do I want to talk about? Oh, Bully Ray and Tito Ortiz. So they come out, they talk about it, and Bully Ray talks about Brooke, and he's in love with this girl named Brooke. Turns out to be Brooke Tessmacher, who he was fooling with the whole time. It wasn't Brooke Hogan. It was made to seem like it was Brooke Hogan, but blah blah blah. It's Brooke Tessmacher. Brooke Tessmacher. I gotta say, she is a fucking babe, man. Like when she came out, her ass was just looking nice as shit. And then she tongue-kissed Bully Ray, and my boner just went meow. It went inside. Like, that's how disgusted I was. Like, my boner went inside. It wasn't happy. It was like a fucking groundhog. And that was just a total boner killer to watch. So yeah, Tessmacher is now, I don't know, the whole Aces and Eights thing is just fucking stupid. Because, actually, we'll talk about it in the main event. So the main event was Main Event Mafia versus Aces and Eights in a loser gets fired match. Before the match started, AJ Styles comes out and joins, I don't want to say he joined the Mafia, but he joined their team to even him out. This was a good match. The Main Event Mafia wins. AJ Styles pins Devon, so Devon is fired. We'll talk about the Devon thing in a second, but AJ Styles, what happened to this lone wolf? What happened to, fuck everybody? Now he's I don't know. It's just the inconsistent booking in TNA. But they've been doing a lot of stuff with AJ recently, like shoot promos. Like he had a thing with Dixie recently, and they shot on each other. And I don't know. I gotta see this promo because he's obviously gonna explain himself on the next show. So I don't know. But so watching it, how it was with AJ joining them, I was just like, what the fuck? Like, that was so stupid. Like, you got a guy like Austin Aries, who I thought would have done much better here, but whatever. Well, not that I don't know. I don't know what to say, but I don't know. I don't know what to say about AJ. Here's my dog's barking because he's like, no, not TNA. Don't talk about that shit. Kobe, shut the fuck up. Thank you. Go back to sleep. So yeah, anyways, I don't know about the whole AJ Styles thing. That's just whatever. So anyways, Devon is the one to get fired. Let's talk about Aces and Eights a little bit. So Devon is fired. He is gone from TNA legitimately. Is no longer in the company. And let's talk about Aces and Eights. Aces and Eights slowly losing all their members. First it was D'Lo Brown. Then it was Luke Gallows, Doc, whatever the fuck his name is. Now we got Devon. How many people are left? We got Bully Ray. We got Wes Briscoe, Garrett Bischoff, Nux. I don't even know why they call him Nux. It should just be Knox. And Mr. Anderson. And apparently Mr. Anderson has left TNA. He's no longer in the company. I don't know if he's no longer in the company, but I know he turned on Bully Ray. I believe he's no longer with the company now. So, and now they got Tito Ortiz and Brooke Tessmacher. What a fucking train wreck this whole thing has been. This whole Aces and Eights thing the whole time, train wreck. There's no other word to describe it. It hasn't been consistent. It's been consistently terrible. That's what it's been. So, fuck, I don't even know. I don't even want to talk about Aces and Eights. Fucking stupid. Just end this shit already. Stop putting the fans through so much garbage. Alright. God, I've been talking for so long, my throat's dry. Hold on. Alright, so that was Impact. I'm kind of slowing down here. Next we got Smackdown. Nothing really to talk about here. Nothing like game-changing wise. Just some solid matches. That's about it. Next we got the Ring of Honor. This was Ring of Honor's 100th show. I want to talk about this real quick. Nothing specific. They pretty much just had the best of show. And they had Jay Lethal and Roderick Strong commentate. They were like, think of like a director's cut, where you have the director talk over the movie and like, oh, I did this because of this and whatever. You had Roderick Strong and Jay Lethal just talk about different matches. And I just thought this was like the most stupidest people they could put in this situation. First you got Roderick Strong. I didn't know Roderick Strong was known for his fucking promos. No, he's not. He's known for his fucking good wrestling. He doesn't have a fucking personality. And I don't know why you put him in a situation like this. And then you got Jay Lethal. And I think Jay Lethal would have been good if he had the right person. Roderick Strong was definitely not the right person. I think if they put in like a Kevin Steen in here and you had Kevin Steen and Jay Lethal, they could have done a really good job. But having Roderick Strong, I'm not taking anything away from Roderick Strong. He's a great wrestler, but he cannot cut a promo for shit. I'm not entertained when I hear him talk. I think he sucks. I don't know. That's just my opinion. I just thought this is the weirdest pairing they could have done to do something like this. So that was that. Next you got Total Divas episode 3 and 4. I'm going to talk about them really quickly. So the third episode, it revolved around, what was the whole thing? Oh, JoJo and her boyfriend, and she got a concussion. Naomi and I think Jimmy Uso, they have some relationship problems. Oh, and Nikki and Brie are fighting because Brie and Daniel Bryan, they want to fucking move to somewhere closer to their dog. Nikki says I'm selfish, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, to start the show was amazing. You had the Bellas driving, and then you had Nikki say this, and I quote, she says, I did competitive soccer, so I had no time to do homework, and my parents didn't care. So that's why I don't use big words. I thought that was hilarious. Like, who the fuck would say that? More and more, they just make Nikki Bella seem so terrible on this show. They make her seem like a gold digger, and she just wants to use people, and she's just this evil, conniving bitch. And I don't know if she has a problem with it. I mean, if she did, she could probably just be like, Cena, honey, and then just get all that shit, you know, I don't want to say erased, but, you know, make it seem like a nicer person. But, I don't know. She's something. Alright. Oh, and another one of my favorite parts of this show is they had this whole movie meeting. They were going to meet with some producers. And Brie forgot about the meeting, so Nikki has to, you know, cover for her. And she's like, yeah, she's just parking the car for 30 to 40 minutes. Like, that was fucking hilarious. I'm like, why would you lie? Just say, hey, she's running late. She had a doctor's appointment or some shit. Blah, blah, blah. Something simple. Bam. I don't know. What else? Next we got JoJo. She suffered a concussion. She got dropped on her head in training because she's 19 and doesn't know anything about wrestling. So, you know, she got hurt. What else? Her boyfriend came over and he just seems like a complete fucking dickhead. I think they captured him right. I don't think there's no editing needed there. So anyway, he was like, you know, I miss you and blah, blah, blah. And pretty much, hey, don't go to wrestling training, spend time with me. And she's like, I can't do that because I'll get in trouble. And then he pretty much used that as an excuse to break up with her. That was whatever. And then she contemplates giving up wrestling, whatever. What else? Jimmy and Naomi, they talk about getting married. Jimmy wants to get married. Naomi wants to kind of... She doesn't want to think about that. She wants to focus on her career, blah, blah, blah. They get into a fight. They reconcile later on. Two things I want to talk about, actually. John Cena. Every episode he's on, it's probably the greatest thing on the show. He is fucking hilarious. He's just the best thing on the show. He's just always fucking funny. He's awesome, and, you know, he doesn't appear often and a lot, but when he does, he's the greatest thing on the show. And episode 3 was amazing because Cameron had tonsillitis, so thankfully we didn't have to hear her talk a lot, and we didn't have to hear her talk. It was the bomb.com shit. So yeah, that was episode 3. It was alright. Next, you got episode 4. So what is this episode revolves around Cameron. She wants to get a boob job. What else? Tyson Kidd. He looks like a straight bitch in this episode. Like, just he looks like a bitch. I can't use any other word. So he'd rather play with his cat than fuck his hot, beautiful girlfriend Natalia. Are you fucking kidding? Maybe after having sex with the same girl 10 years, you know, kind of gets stale, and I guess you'd rather play with your cat and watch wrestling. This was a great quote. Natalia was like, he won't do anything. All he does is just watch wrestling. I think I have to dress up as Daniel Bryan for him to notice me. I thought that was fucking hilarious. But, yeah, she comes out in lingerie. He just continues to watch wrestling, and I'm just like, oh my god, your girlfriend's a babe, okay? Guys jerk off to her because she's that hot, and you have her there, and you don't do anything. Like, I don't know. It's fucking crazy. And then Tyson does the most romantic thing he can think of, and that is take Natty Neidhart to a courthouse so they can legally get married. She gets really fucking angry. Later on, they fix out their problems. The Bellas do a photo shoot for SummerSlam and have to diet. Someone says that Nikki's fat or whatever, and that offends her. And usually Nikki's the cunt, and I hate her. But in this episode, Brie was the cunt when she was like, she called Nikki fat, and I was like, damn, man, that's your sister, and you just call her fat. I mean, she does have more curves. I mean, if you compare them, Brie is a fucking pencil. Like, she's got, I don't think she has an ass. I mean, when I look at her, I can see her collarbone. I can see her heart beating because she's just so fucking thin. And I can count all her ribs. And I'm like, dude, I don't want to see that shit. That's fucking gross. Where I look at Nikki, and she's more pleasing to look at. You know, she's got some nice tits. She's got an ass. And she's a terrible personality. So, yeah, I was just like, damn, Bree. Kind of like he seemed like the nice one, but damn, yo, cut. Shit runs in the family. And, okay, the whole Cameron thing, the scene with her boyfriend, that was hilarious. He's just, like, sweating up a storm. He's getting a panic attack. He wants to feel her tits so bad. That's not even her tits. You're feeling fucking silicone bags. Whatever. And then the Bellas prank Cameron by stealing her implants and blah, blah, blah. That was a pretty good episode. Total Divas, definitely one of my favorite shows. I look forward to it week to week. Sadly, it is now on mid-season break. They're going to come back in November. That shit looks awesome. Especially, I think Eva Marie and Natalia, they get into it. Daniel Bryan, you know, now that he's a top guy, puts some strain in the relationship with Brie Bella. I know Nikki dressed up as a hot nurse. And I don't remember anything else, but that was all that. Alright, and winding down here, we have some wrestling news to talk about. So let's... What did I talk about? I talked about a couple of these things. Alright, so SmackDown going to 3 hours. We touched on that earlier. Personally, I think that'd be a terrible idea. I mean, I already have to sit through 3 hours of Raw. I honestly couldn't imagine sitting through 3 hours of SmackDown. I think I would shoot myself in the fucking head. So I think that'd be terrible and a terrible move for SmackDown. What else do we got? Oh, WWE has been in talks with Goldberg about a possible WrestleMania match at WrestleMania 30 with Ryback. That's the opponent they are pitching. And god damn it, if that match happens, Jesus help us all. Unless, you know, fucking Ryback just becomes the greatest wrestler in the world. That match is gonna be fucking terrible. What else do we got? Oh, Darren Young. This is one of the big articles during this time. Darren Young came out and said he was gay. And, I don't know why people... Well, I guess people made a big deal about it because he was the first openly gay wrestler in WWE. At least active wrestler. And, you know, I think that's cool. That's really cool of him to come out. The only thing I don't want to happen is for him and Titus O'Neil, the primetime players, to get a push and capitalize on the fact that Darren Young is gay. You know, he's gay, he's on all these talk shows now, and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, you never hear of Darren Young. You see him job. I'm a fan of the primetime players. But you honestly don't really care about Darren Young. And now that he's gay, everyone fucking cares about him. I'm just like, come on, you really don't care about Darren Young. Like, you know, he's gonna go on all these fucking talk shows. Whatever, you know, I'm happy for the guy that he can come out and be himself. But I don't want that to get him something that I don't want to say he doesn't deserve, but get him something that he hasn't earned. There. What else do we got? Oh, okay. So we talked about Devon being fired from TNA. That has really happened. You know, another person to leave TNA, and on top of all the other names that we've gone through over the past couple months. There's also a couple more people. First, we got SoCal Val leaving. Honestly, I don't know what the fuck she did in that company besides just sit there. She didn't fucking announce. She didn't... I think she used to do the ring announcing. But after a while, she just sits there. Like, honestly, she had the easiest job in TNA. She just sat there and looked pretty. Like... and then they're finally like... She gets a job for just sitting there and doing nothing. Like, what the fuck are we paying her for? So I guess they finally released her. Yeah, she's gone. Nothing more to say. So SoCal Val's gone. Devon's gone. And Brooke Hogan is now gone. Brooke Hogan has been released from TNA. Well, I am actually surprised about that one. But honestly, I never wanted to see her in TNA. When they first signed her, I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, are you retarded? Like, Dixie, are you actually retarded? Honestly, someone hopefully ask her that. And make sure that she's not. Because if she is, then she should not be handling the company. Anyways, so yeah, Brooke finally got fired. She was the vice president of the Knockouts or whatever. I guess that's why the Knockouts division is just absolutely shit right now. But yeah, I hated every minute of her in TNA. I didn't like the Bully stuff. I only liked it because Bully was awesome. He's Calfzilla. Do you know who I am? Bully Ray's amazing. Brooke Hogan in TNA, makes me so angry just thinking about it. So she's gone now. Thankfully, it seems like they're going in the right step. Now let's not get crazy. They're not going in the right step. They're getting there. I don't know. Alright, so that was that. I think this is the last thing. Yep, okay, so the last story that we got here is AJ Styles. Is he looking to leave TNA? After, being on the main event Mafia team and getting that big win over Devon, he tweeted out, I don't know if he tweeted out or posted on his Facebook, he posted somewhere on social media, he said, "Where do fans want to see AJ Styles? Do you want to see me in TNA, WWE, Ring of Honor, Japan? Lots of options, tough decisions." So immediately when people see that, you freak out. You're like, holy shit, he's thinking about leaving TNA or whatever, there's some friction there, holy shit. Now personally, if AJ Styles leaves TNA is fucked. If you have one of the people that were there from the very first show and they are gone from your company now, you're fucked. Like AJ is the hope there. Like him, like if he were if he were to leave, I'd probably lose all hope in TNA. I'm like, damn, this place is fucked. If AJ Styles leaves, TNA is fucked. It is official. He confirmed it by leaving. So, hopefully he stays. They're doing some stuff with him now. It seemed like, I don't know, like TNA's booking is just fucking weird. It seemed like Magnus was going to win the whole Bound for Glory series. Now AJ won, and he's going to Bound for Glory against Bully Ray. One thing I want to talk about, too. I was, because I do this every year, whenever it comes up, my dream card for Bound for Glory, and I do it for WrestleMania as well. And I was thinking about that recently, and I'm like, okay, so the main event is Bully Ray versus AJ Styles. And then I went on the roster page, and I'm like, I'm taking a look at the roster, and I'm trying to think of, like, matches that could happen at Bound for Glory. And all that's popping up in my head is Bound for Glory looks fucking terrible. Like, they have some matches they can do, but overall, Bound for Glory looks like the biggest pile of shit. They're going to have to do a lot of fucking work to make Bound for Glory amazing, because I look at the roster, and I look at the possible matches that they can do, and it does not look promising. Like, it really doesn't. Bound for Glory looks like it's going to be terrible this year. Maybe they can surprise me and do some stuff that just, okay, maybe that match looks good, but just looking at it from afar, Bound for Glory looks like it is gonna suck dick. At least for me. Like, I couldn't, like, okay, we could do that match and that match, but shit, man, TNA is pretty fucked here. Like, they fired so many people. Their talent pool is very, very small, and, I don't know. I honestly don't know what they're gonna do. So anyways, back to AJ Styles. So his contract was supposed to expire in September, and I believe he wants more pay, or he wants to be paid a little bit more, and I don't believe they want to give him more money, or they're having the money issues, and I guess he's looking to take his talents elsewhere, possibly WWE. That'd be the main thing that he'd probably want to go to. He could probably make some good money in Ring of Honor. Not Ring of Honor, in Japan, do tours of Japan, do lots of independents, and then possibly go to WWE after like a 90-day contract, no compete clause. But like I said, if AJ Styles leaves TNA, then done. And I think TNA should do everything they can to keep a guy like AJ Styles. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I honestly don't know. Like, the fact that he's even looking to leave and making it known, that's kind of like he's kind of fucking with TNA, and like, hey, I'm letting people know that, hey, shit's not good here, and making it a public situation. It could be working into an angle. You know, they could just be like, ah, fuck you, internet, we got you, and then we make it into something. But for him to make this kind of stuff public, that definitely doesn't look good on TNA. That looks very, very terrible on TNA, and does show that TNA has a lot of problems. So I could see AJ leaving, especially with a bunch of people that have been fired recently. SoCal Val, I mean, she sat there. She sat there very fucking well, and she got fucking fired. So that means anybody can get fired. And yeah, he could be it. I don't know. I'd hate to see him leave, because like I said, that's their one hope right there. And I don't know, honestly. And one person put it well: if Brooke Hogan got fired, then shit, nobody is safe. So that's I don't know. I think that'd be a really big loss to TNA. I would hate to see that, but we'll have to wait and see. Apparently, he's working on. I don't think he has a contract right now. I think he's working without a contract, so that's, I don't know. It's pretty risky for TNA, and I think they're gonna make him TNA World Champion. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see where that goes. Talk about it on the next weekly wrestling review. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I know it was a very long one. My throat is killing me. I hope I have enough gameplay footage. Shit, I hope you listened all the way through. If you listened all the way through, type "my throat hurts," because it does. My tonsils are killing me. Well, not my tonsils. I don't know. Like, at the top of my throat area. I don't know what to fucking call it. But, alright, type in, if you watched all the way through, "my throat hurts." Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm back with the weekly wrestling reviews. I'm going to try and make this more frequent, and just be more frequent on my channel, and just try and be more active. And I want to thank you guys for 2,000 subscribers. I want to thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Come back next time where we got more reviews for Raw, SmackDown, Impact, NXT, Ring of Honor. I don't know if we have a pay-per-view for next week. I know we got the oh god, just thinking about it makes me laugh. The TNA One Night Only pay-per-view, the Knockouts one. Oh my god, if that is anything like the last couple pay-per-views, that is going to be fucking horseshit. And I really don't want to watch it, but I'm going to, because it's probably some really bad wrestling. So I don't know if that's going to be on the next show, but it will definitely be coming up. So you got that to look forward to. And I think that's about it. So we're going to wrap up the show before this gets any longer. Hope you guys enjoyed. Catch us next time. And until then, guys, peace out.